Sensitives, a resource for investigators. There are no shortages of advancements in technology and other sciences when it comes to the paranormal. Every day there is a new device, piece of equipment, new or improved software or research and investigative tool, and that is all very vital and critical to the paranormal field, especially when it comes to investigation and research and documentation. Being a sensitive person myself, especially to the shifts and changes in energy fields and fluctuations, I know what it's like to be in the presence of an energy or spirit before it is detected on any device or piece of equipment. So often those within the paranormal field overlook a resource they have right at their disposal. So often this resource is not utilized, or it is utilized but not really in the manner that you should use it. Though it is not a resource that many accept as a valid resource, it is a resource that often proves to be vital to investigators, investigations and research. All too often this resource is ridiculed, mocked, pushed away and discounted by those that tends to discount anything that isn't tangible, and even those that are within the paranormal field tend to belittle this resource and make a mockery and spectacle of it. I am speaking of those sensitive individuals, or those individuals that possess gifts, sensitivities and abilities that allow them to feel, see, hear and communicate with those that have departed this world. There are many ways to classify these individuals. Some call them sensitives, others call them psychics, or mediums, and others call them clairvoyants, and some just call them different. These individuals possess many different abilities, and because they do, they sometimes feel they must hide that fact, because all too often they are judged, ridiculed, mocked and bullied for being different. Those that are like this will often tell you they are cursed because they are damned if they do or say something and damned if they don't do or say something. Often, they remain a quiet observer that harnesses a plethora of knowledge, skill and validator ability that they never use, because all too often when they do, they are overlooked and treated with indifference. I have learned from personal experience this very thing, and when I did speak out and up about the things I was seeing, hearing, feeling and sensing, all that I had spoken about was discarded and never acknowledged or utilized. Often, I personally was viewed as a liability rather than an asset. I know from personal experience working with others that if you utilize and listen to someone that is sensitive, you will find that you have a very valuable and crucial resource, asset and tool that you may find is more valuable to you than many of the devices, equipment, and methods that you utilize. Now, what I want to say here is this, that I am speaking from personal experience, and I am by no means saying that you must utilize a sensitive or any other piece of equipment, device or resource. What I am saying is this, that you must do your own assessment of someone with sensitivities or abilities in whatever manner you think best suits you or your team or group. I think the best way to do that is to utilize them when you are doing an investigation, or you are going out in the field, as they say. That way, since you would have already done your pre-assessment of the location, area or specific place you are investigating, and you would already know which devices and equipment you are going to use, you will be able to evaluate just how useful, accurate and effective having someone that has sensitivities or abilities is for you to have with you. Having someone with you that possesses abilities or has gifts is no different than you having a new device or piece of equipment. You must try it out, test it and learn the ins and outs of that thing and learn the exact scope and limits that has, and it is no different with a sensitive person. They too must be utilized so that you can learn their accuracy, limits and precursor to anything that may cause them to be swayed one way or the other. Sensitives. Psychics/mediums/gifted/those with abilities, clairvoyants, are not all the same in that they each possess a unique way in which they do things, see things, feel things, hear things, react to things and articulate all that they are experiencing, and as such they, just like anything else you utilize, can be flawed and at times be off in what they are picking up on and relaying to you. What I think you must remember is that they are all different in the many different degrees and depths when it comes to understanding and utilizing the various abilities and sensitivities they possess. There are many clairabilities and some sensitives possess one or more of them, and they all take in the information and process it differently. The clairabilities include clear feeling, clairsentience, clear smelling, clairaudience, clear hearing, clairaudience, clear knowing, claircognizance, clear tasting, clairgustance and clear seeing, clairvoyance. With each of the clairs it would be easy to place many distinct categories or names to specific things or individual occurrences, but often, from experience, these abilities often run in conjunction with other abilities such as drawing, writing or channeling. If you take the time to learn the abilities of a sensitive individual and identify what those abilities encompass and what the limitations and strengths of those abilities are, then you are more readily able to utilize that resource to the fullest potential, and that can be an asset to you in your research and investigations. Sensitive people often help to bring about another level to the interview, research and investigative process, in that they can often ascertain the truth of a witness statement, and they may be able to validate information that you have already gathered during your research process, as well as be able to provide you with information you may not have had or been given, and they may even be able to feel out the area to better assist with the specific areas that have the most activity. A sensitive investigator whose abilities and gifts you have come to know to be real and true, can assist in the capturing and documenting of evidence, gathering of certain facts and pieces of information that often when you research those facts and information you find you can validate and substantiate those things that the sensitive person told you. Invaluable is how I would categorize having a sensitive person with you during your interviews or investigations. You may even find that the sensitive person may even be able to help in validating and substantiating a haunting, or may be able to help dispel what some call a haunting by finding the very real and explainable causes for the unusual activity that is occurring. Those that are sensitive can be invaluable to you when you are assessing a location, because they can help you to locate any dangers that may exist that could potentially cause harm to any and everyone that is involved with the location and with the investigation. I know for me personally, being a sensitive myself, that I have witnessed someone that communicated with some entities and spirits when they have been out with others doing investigations in which specific information was being given and relayed to those there, and once things were finished and everyone sat down to review the data they had collected, it was found that much of that same information was heard on audio recordings or came through on ghost boxes, leaving little doubt that the sensitive investigator was legitimately relaying the information with precision and detail that they could not have known. Speaking for myself, I think that if those within the paranormal field would take the time to properly integrate sensitive investigators into their teams, research, investigations, location assessment and witness, client interviews along with the other pieces of equipment and methods used for your investigations, that you would have an invaluable set of tools to utilize in the most effective manner possible. Think about it for a minute. You would have not only the best devices, equipment and methodology available to you, but you would have the resource of having someone with the unique ability to assess pertinent information, knowledge and facts that are not readily available and that come straight from the source in which you are communicating with. The data you could collect, substantiate and validate would be invaluable to the paranormal field,